double D. Welcome to the real T with double D. Welcome to the real T with double D. Yeah. Grab your tea and take a seat, cause we got something to say. We bring you that news when it happens same day. All of it be accurate, cause we give it to them straight. And the real T with double D don't spread nothing fake. Wanna hear news about politics, then go on here subscribe. Like the channel 12, we bring it to them live. With updates by Trump trial and how he facing time. We gon' let you know the real about the news and crimes. Speak on all topics and we make it interesting. Post them on the channel, now they wanna call us messy. When celeb news exposed, we be on it in a second. Blackery while I'm black, we accurate, not guessing. Welcome to the real T with double D. Welcome to the real T with double D. Welcome to the real T with double D. Welcome to the real T with double D.
Hey players, welcome to a brand new episode of The Real T with Double D. Of course, I'm your girl Double D, and we are live on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. So excited to see each and every single one of y'all tonight. So glad that y'all chose to ride and fly with your girl, honey, because it is 10:30 on a weekday. I don't know what Double D is thinking, honey, but Double D needs to start getting her shit together expeditiously. But I got kids and shit. Y'all know that. I hope y'all had a pretty good day. I had a decent day, besides the fact that I messed up my kitchen island. You guys know about that over on Facebook, that I messed up my kitchen island. Well, not island, but my coffee bar. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. But other than that, I had a pretty decent day. It's been a lot of the same old down there in Washington, D.C., but I know y'all want to hear me talk about it, and I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of hearing about it, because the GQP is a shit show on wheels that never seems to stop shitting. But baby, as long as y'all want to hear it, I'm going to spill it. So y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat, honey. We're going to get into this first story, because you know we got to talk about Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. I declare, honey. What a disgrace. Child, so as we know, honey, Frumpy Dump is still on trial up there in New York City. Now, we know we have Attorney General Letitia James, who I affectionately call a pit bull in a skirt. She is going after Frumpy Dump more than anybody has been gone after before, honey. She is letting him have it, and she says it's time, and I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. I agree with Attorney General Letitia James. It appears that Frumpy Dump has gotten away with a lot of shit over the years, and now it is time for him to pay the piper in multiple areas, not just in New York, honey. There's a lot of shit that is piling up on Frumpy to the motherfucking dump, but Attorney General Letitia James just happens to be the second in line. The first one was E. Jean Carroll. Now we have Attorney General Letitia James, because we know that she is suing him for $250 million up there in New York, saying that he and his sons and the Frumpy Dump organization inflated their assets for their own benefit. Now, the judge has already found Frumpy to the motherfucking dump liable, but we have seen his Cracker Jack Box legal team talk about over and over again that the judge is biased, the law clerk, all this kind of stuff. There's been a lot of attacking. There has been a lot that's been going on in this trial, and this week has been no different, because Frumpy Dump is now on the defense. Now, of course, there's no cameras in the courtroom to see exactly what is going on, but we can only go by reports. And also, we get these daily reports from Attorney General Letitia James. And I want y'all to take a listen to what she had to say about what happened in court yesterday as Frumpy Dump's Cracker Jack Box legal team put on their defense. But before I do, since I got her picture up there and I got Law and Order Frumpy Dump Crimes Unit, let's go ahead and do it. In the criminal justice system, Frumpy Dump thought he would get away with crimes, but in New York, there's an attorney general by the name of Letitia James. This is her story. Bum 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 bum.
We just concluded another day of our trial against Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, and other defendants, and the second day of their attempts to defend their family fraud. Today, the defendants called two of their expert witnesses to testify. The first one is a real estate developer who is not a real expert on the issues involved in this case. But he and Donald Trump have been friends for a long time, and he's donated more than $2 million to support Trump's political campaigns. Most of his testimony was irrelevant. And he never even reviewed Donald Trump's fraudulent statements of financial condition, the central subjects of this case. The defendants next called an accountant to the stand. His testimony consisted of a lengthy review of accounting standards. But when the judge asked for real-world examples of his experience, he could not provide a single one. Time and time again, we have shown that Donald Trump and the defendants live in a fantasy world, a world where the truth doesn't matter and the rules don't apply to them. That's why this case is so important, because no matter how rich or powerful you pretend to be, no one is above the law.
You heard her, big baby. You heard her, big baby. No one is above the law. And I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you. Every single time she ends her video with her updates with that, I have to clutch my invisible damn pearls. Baby, Attorney General Letitia James is one that I would definitely not want to mess with. She's been in court every single day. And according to her, Frumpy Dump's Cracker Jack Box legal team once again showed that they come from the Cracker Jack box, putting on witnesses that are could be considered biased. Also, ones that hadn't even looked at the financial statements that are in question. I mean, why would you put these people on the stand and pretend that they're experts when they're not? And it can clearly, those questions can clearly be posed by the judge, as he has done. So since things aren't coming up roses for Frumpy Dump and his Cracker Jack box legal team with the defense, I guess he decided it was time to scurry along and go ahead and ask for a mistrial. Oh, yes, honey. It's true. Attorney Frumpy Dump and his Cracker Jack Box legal team actually requested a Frumpy Dump and his Cracker Jack Box legal team actually requested a mistrial. I don't know if I have any moderators over on TikTok, but I need someone to remove this person. And I don't think I have any, so I'm trying to do it myself here. I'm sorry, y'all, but I have to get rid of this person because this comment spamming, I'm not going to be able to handle it tonight. I'm already tired as is. No, baby, we're not doing that tonight. All right, honey. Anyways, so Frumpy Dump has filed for a mistrial. Now, Frumpy Dump is asking for a mistrial in that civil trial case. He is saying that Attorney General, that the judge and his law clerk, who have been subject to multiple complaints from Frumpy Dump's attorneys and Frumpy Dump himself, has resulted in a gag order. They're saying that, of course, that he is biased. The judge has already signaled that he will deny the motion, initially advising Frumpy Dump's attorneys that he shouldn't file it, but then saying he could file it in writing. Frumpy Dump's attorneys argue that the judge has unfairly ruled against Frumpy to the motherfucking Dump, made comments during the trial that they allege show bias and has exceeded his discretion, and is working with his law clerk, who has donated to organizations they allege are supporting Attorney General Letitia James and others that oppose Frumpy Dump in excess of contribution limits. In this case, the evidence of apparent and actual bias is tangible and overwhelming. Such evidence, coupled with the unprecedented departure from the standard judicial procedure, of course, we know they're talking about the jury trial, in which we have seen the evidence that Elena Ababa did not check the fucking box, but I digress. Such evidence, coupled with the unprecedented departure from the standard judicial procedure, has tainted these proceedings, and a mistrial is warranted. That's what Frumpy Dump's attorney said in their motion. Now, the judge has defended his communications with his law clerk, saying that he has the unfettered right to discuss legal issues with her, and noted that when campaigning, which his clerk was at one point, there are different limits to political donations. The judge's gag order prohibits Frumpy Dump and his attorneys from making any statements about court staff, and specifically about communications he has with his law clerk. Frumpy Dump has been fined twice twice for violating that gag order. Now, a spokesperson for the Attorney General's office said once again, Frumpy Dump is trying to backpedal and pussy pop. No, they didn't say that. I'm saying that. Is trying to dismiss the truth and the facts, but the numbers and evidence don't lie. Frumpy Dump is now being held accountable for the years of fraud he committed and the incredible ways he lied to enrich himself and his family. He can keep trying to distract from his fraud, but the truth always comes out. Well, you know what I think about Frumpy Dump.
He did that shit. Guilty as
He guilty as fuck, big baby. He did that shit. So Attorney General Letitia James is basically saying, honey, we will not back down no matter if he files for a mistrial, which we knew that Frumpy Dump is going to try to do anything. He may even try to take it on up to the Supreme Court. They have Elena Ababa, the Frumpy Dump, the rest of Frumpy Dump's Cracker Jack Box legal team, Chris Keiss, as well as Frumpy Dump, have been attacking the judge, his law clerk, making false accusations, things that they cannot validate about this law clerk. And I've never seen a judge not be able to communicate with the law clerk because the defendant, because that's what Frumpy Dump is, he's a defendant in this case, says so, that he feels like there's some bias there that can't be substantiated by tangible evidence. It makes absolutely no sense. It's completely asinine, but this is Frumpy Dump's world, honey. We just living in it, at least according to him. Baby, it's a shit show on wheels, honey, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a stack with you. I'm here for it all. All right, players, grab your tea and have a seat, honey, because of course we got to talk about other things that are going on in these Frumpy Dump's trials. We're gonna move on to District Attorney Willis and that leak that happened yesterday. Grab that tea, have a seat. Let's get into it. All right, players. So I'm pretty sure y'all heard about this. I believe it was yesterday, but Double D could be messing up. You know what I'm saying? My days have run together at this time. It's really ridiculous and a hot boo-boo shitty mess. The way my life is just spinning out of control, it feels like, in front of me. But this is no woe is me. This is not woe is me, Double D. This is about this. So let's get into what's going on. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about those leaks. Jenna Ellis and a video of Sidney Powell as well as Scott Hall. It was both, all of the videos were about 15 to 20 second each. They were released to ABC, and I actually have one of them that I want to play for you, where Jenna Ellis alleges some very damning, well, that video is about a minute. Jenna Ellis actually alleges some damning things against the boss, Frumpy, to the motherfucking dump, basically saying that he knew about everything. I declare, honey, what a disgrace.
Okay. And at the time period where we're going to start to discuss, what was Dan Scavino's role?
At the time, I believe his title was social media director for the White House. It became deputy chief of staff at the time that the conversation in question took place.
Okay, and when was that? The
conversation was around December 19th of 2020 at the White House Christmas party. And I emphasized to him, I thought that the claims and the ability to challenge the election results was essentially over, because he said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, the boss, meaning President Trump, and everyone understood the boss, that's what we all called him. He said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power. And I said to him, well, it doesn't quite work that way, you realize. And he said, we don't care.
I declare, honey. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Now, we know that Jenna Ellis has pled guilty, as well as Sidney Powell and Scott Hall. And as a part of that plea agreement, they had to, I guess, sit down with prosecutors and talk about what was going on within that case. And part of that was leaked from Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, as well as Scott Hall. Now, as soon as District Attorney Fani Willis got a hold of this, or well, got a word of it, that was leaked, baby, she was pissed to the highest level of festivity, so much so that she moved to get a protection order regarding any type of evidence within the trial. Now, we have seen, and I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here. We have seen, not tangent, but tell you guys that this is pretty standard when we have situations where lawyers or district attorneys or prosecutors feel like evidence may be at risk, being exposed, leaked, due to the defendants in the case, because they have a right to any evidence during the discovery process. So they will file for protection orders so that this information is not leaked. So that's what Fani Willis did yesterday. She filed for an emergency order, protection order regarding this leaked audio of Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, and Scott Hall. Now, the judge actually called an emergency hearing today with the Fulton County prosecutors to talk about this entire situation, in which we learned that one of the defendant's attorneys, Misty Hampton, who has not yet pled guilty or been to trial yet, one of her attorneys actually leaked this information. Child, when I tell you it's re-damn ridiculous and a hot boo-boo shitty mess, it is re-damn ridiculous and a hot boo-boo shitty mess. So let's get into this report. So a leak of discovery materials in the Georgia election subversion case against Frumpy Dump and his co-defendants, prompting the Fulton County District Attorney's Office to file for an emergency motion for a protection order in the attempt to prevent other materials from becoming public. A portion of proffer videos, which is the legal term for videotape conversations of some of the co-defendants, some of the co-defendants had with prosecutors, were leaked to several news outlets, that's ABC and the Washington Post, including on-camera statements from former Frumpy Dump attorney Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, Kenneth Cheeseborough, as well as Atlanta-based bail bondsman Scott Hall. Now, the four of them were required to give those statements to prosecutors as a part of their plea deals, as I explained before. And again, District Attorney Willis renewed a motion for a protective order regarding those discovery materials. Oh goodness. So I didn't know this was true. Hold on, y'all. Wait. Hold on. Okay, so included in the motion by prosecutors was an apparent admission via email from one of Frumpy Dump's co-defendants. Todd Harding, who is Floyd's attorney, said in an email thread with the DA's office that it was Harrison Floyd's team, apparently acknowledging that they had leaked the videos. The email chain included current and former defense attorneys on the case. In a subsequent email, Harding called the prior email admission a typo. So at first it was alleged that it was Harrison Floyd's attorneys that had leaked that information, but then they found out that it was actually Misty Hampton's attorney who admitted this in the hearing today, that he was one of the ones that leaked the information because he feels like it would help his client, Misty Hampton. Now, I'm not sure in what way leaking that information is supposed to help him, but that's what he said during that hearing. I actually had a portion of it for you guys that I was going to play, and I will try to play this and continue talking while I get it pulled up. So he basically said that he feels like it will help his client, and he was wanting them not to do the protective order, which is very interesting, coming from his side, that he feels like that video was actually helping him, his client. Very interesting. So here is a portion of that video that was leaked. You guys, I'm so sorry. I thought I had it, but I guess I didn't download it correctly. Only thing I see is Jada Pinkett Smith, and you know what? We're not even going there tonight. I declare. No. So anyway, there is a video of them in the court hearing where he was asking for the judge not to grant the protective order. So this is going to be very interesting. And also in other co-defendant news, we have Harrison Floyd, who is actually facing going back to prison. District Attorney Willis has filed a motion to revoke his bond, stating that he has violated the terms of his bail agreement through intimidation of witnesses by some of the things that he has been posting online. So the prosecutor has asked District Attorney Willis, has asked the judge to revoke his bond. the charges against. So she's saying that prosecutors said in Wednesday's motion that the revoke his bond had been because he had been posting on X, formerly known as Twitter, in an effort to intimidate co-defendants and witnesses to communicate directly and indirectly with co-defendants and witnesses and otherwise obstruct the administration of justice. His actions amounted to intentional and flagrant violations of his bond conditions. Now, an attorney for Harrison Floyd said District Attorney Willis attempted to revoke his client's bond was nonsense. She's not going to get this motion granted. He said that he plans to file a motion to disqualify District Attorney Willis from the prosecution because her personal animus against his client. So this is one of the things that District Attorney Willis is alleging. Part of it that Harrison Floyd is going around Annalise Keaton's internet doing. Well, at least he's going around Twitter, not Truth Social. I mean, they're $73 million in debt, but I digress.
Integrity and my commitment to this country, and I'm a United States Marine. I take those things very serious. You're not getting away with this. So you either have to come up with these documents and prove that President Biden won the election and I was wrong with what I did, or you're going to have to dismiss this, and then we're going to have to start talking about civil fines and penalties. This is accountability time. Whoever did something wrong in Georgia will be held accountable, and it was not me.
Child. So Harrison Floyd said he didn't do anything wrong. That Frumpy Dump won the election, and him calling Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman and trying to intimidate her into saying things that were not true. He's saying that he didn't do that shit. So, baby, it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out in the Washington arrangement of that. And I'm going to be on the edge of my seat trying to see if they go ahead and revoke his bond. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat, honey, because we know that last week the Republicans decided that they were going to subpoena Hunter Biden. Well, baby, Hunter Biden said it's time to pull a switcheroo. Y'all grab your tea and have a seat. Let's get into it. All right, players. So Hunter Biden, honey, now, like I told you, I believe that was last week, or it may have been the week before. The House GQP decided that they were going to subpoena Hunter Biden. Well, baby, Hunter Biden said it's time to pull a switcheroo, and he is asking the judge in his criminal case to subpoena Frumpy Dump and ex-DOJ officials. Baby, the filing asks that the judge asks for the judge to sign off on subpoenas for Frumpy Dump, former Attorney General Bill Barr, and others in an effort to show that the case is politically motivated. Again, Hunter Biden has asked the judge presiding over his criminal weapons charge case to subpoena Frumpy Dump and top officials at the Justice Department, arguing that the investigation into him was as a direct result of insistent and improper and partisan pressure from Frumpy Dump and his allies. The court filing that he did today asked the judge to issue subpoenas for Frumpy Dump, Attorney General Bill Barr, former acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donahue, and former acting Attorney General Jeff Rosen. In the filing, they said Mr. Biden seeks specific information from the three former DOJ officials and the former president that goes to the heart of his defense that this is possibly a vindictive or selective prosecution arising from an unrelenting pressure campaign beginning in the last administration in violation of Hunter Biden's Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution. I declare, honey, Hunter Biden is fighting back. Hunter Biden's lawyers have maintained that the charges are unfair because prosecutors agreed to a plea agreement this year that would have had the weapons charge using the same facts dropped if he stayed out of trouble for a period of 2 years. Prosecutors had also agreed to recommend a sentence of probation in return for a guilty plea on misdemeanor tax charge. The deal was, of course, thrown out by the judge as she raised questions about some of the provisions in that agreement. So so Hunter Biden said, baby, if Frump and Dump, it's time for you to come on down. You're the next contestant on Bring That Ass to Court. Baby, so that's going to be very interesting to see what comes out in the washing and the ranching of that. Y'all know I'm going to keep you posted on what the judge decides in that case. I'm not sure if that's even possible because Frumpy Dump was the president at the time. It'd be very interesting to see if the judge orders it. We'll see what happens. But y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. We got to move on to the House, GQP. I declare, honey. What a disgrace. All right, players. So last week we were 9 days away from a Republican sponsored government shutdown, and there has been 0 minutes, and they spent 0 minutes dedicated to working on funding for the government, and they did at least pass this temporary deal where they will be able to continue to fund the government until they're able to look at each individual department. You know, it's basically a way for the Republicans to try to stonewall a lot of these different programs and stuff like that. That right there has to go to the Senate to be passed. But what we have seen as of late from the Republican-led House of Representatives, and quite frankly, from Congress, has been a lot of fighting. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of malarkey going on, and it's absolutely ridiculous and a hot bullshitty mess that we pay these people $174,000 a year to argue with each other. I'm just going to play you guys a little snippet of what's been going on at the House of Representatives and the Senate in the last couple of days, and we are merely a few days away from a government shutdown.
You want to run your mouth? We can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Stop it.
Is that your solution? Every poll.
No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Got elbowed in the back, and it kind of caught me off guard because it was a clean shot to the kidneys, and I turned back, and there was Kevin, and I for a minute I was kind of, what the heck just happened? And then I chased after him. Of course, he's as I've stated many times, he's a bully with $17 million in a security detail.
Because Burchett runs up to me after. I didn't know what he was talking about. So many reporters asked me. I did not run and hit the guy. I did not kidney punch him. I did not shoot anything like that.
You didn't shove him?
No.
Were you aware of this?
Congresswoman, as I said, I haven't seen the photos that you're holding up before.
Maybe, well, I posted them on my Twitter account. It's public. You know, maybe
I don't
you guys
spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Well, you know, I'm sure you do, because the Department of Homeland Security, organized with other offices, has censored many Americans, including myself.
I'm not part of the Department of Homeland Security.
Right.
But you and Goldman, who is Mr. Trust Fund, continue to try to
reclaiming my time.
No, I'm not going to give you your time back. We can stop the clock. You all continue to, you look like a Smurf here just going around and all this stuff. Now listen.
Mr. Chairman, I'm
going to tell you something.
Hold on. If we're not on time,
we spew disinformation.
You have gone on TV and said the president did something illegal. You're doing stuff with your brother. The American people have the same questions. Why should they believe you? Why should they believe you? Why should they believe you? There's a different rule for the president. There's a different rule for you. Why should they believe what you're saying, Mr. Chairman? Why? You go on Fox News and say loans and deals are a way to evade taxes. We don't know that's what you're doing or not. We don't know. We have no idea. We're supposed to take your word for it. But when the president
you've
says
already
something,
been proven a liar, Mr. Moskowitz.
What's that?
You've already been proven a liar.
Who's proven me a liar? You?
Yes.
Your word means nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Go to
My Democrat colleague across the aisle, who's 80 years old and has been here over 30 years, just said we're on the verge of a shutdown. She probably just forgot that a few hours ago she voted for the continuing resolution that will extend the budget. And
it may be that the gentlelady doesn't know that there is another body attached to the U.S. Congress called the United States Senate, and they have to vote on the continuing resolution. And by the way, it isn't a law of the land or done until the President of the United States signs it. That may be a basic level, a lesson in civics. There is the House, there is the Senate, and there is the President.
Child, a whole bunch of BS and bullshit. So I was just informed, y'all probably put it in the comments on Facebook too, that the Senate did pass the Stop the Gap bill. So we did avert. It's temporary. Either way it goes, it's still temporary and it's front loaded and it's just a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? However, let's go back to what we just saw. We just saw a bunch of malarkey going on. We pay these people $174,000 a year to sit around and argue with each other, beat each other up, and do absolutely nothing for us. Like, there's not anything that they could be working on other than fighting each other. It is damn ridiculous and a hot boo shitty mess. And I'm so sick of seeing it. I mean, it's hard to report on it. It's absolutely disgusting. And it just needs to stop. I really have nothing else to say about the House GQP. They have done absolutely nothing. The Senate, they're holding all these hearings and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, what the hell is getting done? Not a damn thing. I mean, it's just a bunch of waste of time, in my opinion. You got all the things that's going on in the world as a whole, worldwide. And you guys are sitting up here trying to fight a damn president of a union. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Musty Marjorie hasn't had a basic civics lesson, but she's standing up here trying to act like she know every damn thing. She's on the floor arguing about her tweets. I mean, child, if you looking at this and you still want to be here in the United States of America, baby, God bless you, because I'm going to keep it a stack with you, honey. I want to run away love. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat, because not only are they wilding in the United States Congress, but they also wilding in the states. So we have a city in Tennessee that does shook this one right on past us, honey, that has banned public homosexuality. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Grab your tea and have a seat. Let's get into it. So a city in Tennessee is using a recently passed ordinance essentially prohibiting homosexuality in public to try to ban library books that might violate the new rules. Murfreesboro passed this ordinance in June banning indecent behavior, including indecent exposure, public indecency, lewd behavior, nudity, or sexual content. This ordinance specifically mentions section 21-72 of the code. This city code states that sexual conduct includes homosexuality. Anyone who violates the new ordinance is barred from hosting public events or selling goods and services at public events for 2 years. Anyone who violates the ordinance in the presence of minors is barred for 5 years. Now, of course, the ACLU is all over this, honey, but this really, I just saw this today, and I think a lot of people just saw it because it was viral on Twitter. So ACLU was all over it, honey. They have a challenge to the ordinance. But that has not stopped city officials from implementing the measure. Last Monday, the Rutherford County Steering Committee met to discuss removing all books that might potentially violate the ordinance from the public library. The resolution was met with widespread outcry from, I'm so sorry, city residents. Carrie Lambert, who is a local activist, said, when have people who ban books ever been good guys? She said that at a Monday's meeting. Murfreesboro city officials have already used the ordinance to ban 4 books that discuss LGBTQIA plus themes. In August, the county library board pulled books They were called Flamer, Let's Talk About It, Queerfully and Wonderfully Made, and This Book is Gay. The board also implemented a new library card system that categorizes books into certain age groups when it takes effect next year. Children and teenagers will only be able to check out books that correspond to their age group. They will need permission from a parent or a guardian to check out any books in the adult section. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So again, this is Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And they have essentially banned being gay in public, any hand holding, kissing, public displays of affection. Don't it sound like don't say gay? Remember that in the military, don't say gay. Doesn't it sound like that? You know what I'm saying? Where you got to hide who you are whenever you're in public or whatever, but you can do whatever you want behind closed doors. Child, is absolutely ridiculous and a hot boo shitty mess that we are always so concerned about what someone is doing in their bedroom. Legally doing in their bedroom, but when they doing some illegal shit like messing around with children, don't nobody want to hear about that. But I digress. Players, it's ridiculous. It's a hot boo shitty mess, but this is the absolute world that we live in. I really don't know what we're gonna do, but it is a shit show on wheels. If my children want to read any of these books, Queerfully Happy or whatever, This Book is Gay, I'm not gonna stop them from reading them. I mean, reading books has never hurt not one single person. All right, players, grab your tea, have a seat. Let's move on. Like I just said, honey, the Republicans or the GQP or people who are more right leaning, they always worried about what's going on in somebody else's bedroom, but they don't be worried about it when it's illegal, like going on with children. Y'all grab that tea, have a seat. Let's get into the next story. All right, players. So this right here, if I can get it pulled up here, if I can get my mouse to move, is a judge in Arkansas. He was a judge in Arkansas. He was a judge in Arkansas, honey. As you can see, he was feeling footloose and fancy free about himself. His name is 54-year-old Daniel Arthur Stewart of Fort Smith. And he's feeling real good about himself on this picture, honey. He's a judge. Back in 2019, he was happy as a flea on a dog's ass, as you can see. Now I want you to take a look at a recent photo of Daniel Arthur Stewart of Fort Smith. He was just sentenced to 84 months in prison with 10 years of supervision because he was found in possession of CSA material. Like I just told you before, they always worried about what's going on with somebody's bedroom that's legal, but when it's illegal, they ain't worried about it. So this is a judge. So he was originally indicted in January 2019 on charges of attempting to entice a child to engage in activity. After an investigation was done into his conduct that happened between February 1st and March 19th of 2016. Years later, in 2023, Stewart pled guilty to information that charged him with possession of CSA material in relation to his conduct. An investigation showed that in February, Faulkner County officer with an undercover profile answered an ad on Craigslist that searched for contact with a young guy or son. The undercover officer inquired whether the poster was interested in meeting up with what he thought would be a 43-year-old man and his 13-year-old son. The poster then responded positively with explicit conversation continued online messaging platform. This is where the contact photo was discovered to be Mr. Stewart, who was a judge at the time. The conversation continued and indicated that Stewart will reserve a hotel room with the purpose of doing the filthy McNasty with a minor. When he arrived at the lobby of the hotel, police immediately took him into custody. Police had a search warrant a warrant to search his home. During that search, they found several electronics where they found multiple videos containing CSA material. Now, if you know what that stands for, you can put that in the comments. There may not be some people that understands what CSA material means. Stewart previously worked with the Sebastian County Prosecutor's Office before he served as a Sebastian County District Court judge in Fort Smith. He also worked as a public defender in Crawford County. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. See, this is what I'm talking about. They always worried about what's going on in the bedroom that's legal, but when it's illegal, they ain't worried about it. This is damn ridiculous and a hot boo shitty mess. 84 months, which is the equivalent of 7 years, in my opinion, is not enough for the scum. All right, players, grab your tea and have a seat. Let's get into the next story. Dietrich, you need to close that door. I hear you snoring on my stuff. Man, close that door, man. All right, players. So let's get into the next. Now, look, I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of commentary on this. I just want to know who the hell Joe Manchin thinks that he is. If he ever thinks that anybody will vote for him for president, please watch this video, and I'm going to see you on the other side.
Let's talk about your future, because obviously you are facing a big decision. Can you take us inside your thinking right now? Are you seriously contemplating a run for the White House?
Here's what I'm seriously contemplating. And I've said this very clearly, but people always want to say, well, are you going to run? I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure and mobilize that moderate, sensible, common sense middle. That could be a center left, center right. So it could be a person who is involved in the grand old party forever. But they basically say, well, you know, my Democrat friends over here, the old blue dog Democrats, the middle's gone. There's not many of us centrists left. And if I can reinvigorate that, and I said, I will do everything that I possibly can. I'm totally, absolutely scared to death that Donald Trump would become president again. I think we will lose democracy as we know it. And my reason for saying that, you can't normalize this visceral hatred, calling people names and attacking people. You can't basically think the only fair election is the one you win, and the only laws pertain to everybody but you. That's not the country we are. That's not how we became the country. And I'm afraid that Joe Biden's been pushed too far to the left. Can he come back? We'll see. But the bottom line is that's not the Joe Biden that we thought was being elected, to go that far left.
I want to delve into all of that with you about former President Trump and President Biden. Before we get to them, I do just want to stick with what your thinking is right now. Just to clarify, just to put a fine point. I know you haven't made any decisions, but are you considering running for president?
I will do anything I can to help my country.
Is that a yes?
And you're saying, does that mean you would consider it? Absolutely. Every American should consider. If they're in a position to help save the country, I think we're on the wrong course. So I will do everything possible. Now, there's a lot of good people out there I hope I can motivate, and a lot of capable people, competent, that they've just given up. I said, don't give up. This is the best country in the world, and we have so much to be thankful for.
I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Y'all heard me yelling at my husband, telling him it was playing a video. Y'all was supposed to hear that. Now that's going to be on my podcast. Hey, you can hear his tail snoring back there. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Y'all heard that. Baby, Joe Manchin is damn ridiculous and a hot boo shitty mess. If he thinks anybody besides his wife and his children gonna vote for him for president, baby, you was a Democrat and you was voting more Republican, so no Democrats are gonna vote for you. The Republicans ain't gonna vote for you because they're gonna think that you a rhino. Child, you are damn ridiculous and a hot boo shitty mess. Who exactly are you gonna be mobilizing? Because I don't know nobody, and I do not, and I do mean nobody on God's green earth that will support Joe Manchin, who was a flip-flopper. Baby, I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Like I said, I wasn't going to give you a lot of commentary on that, honey. I just wanted you to hear the mitigated gall of Joe Manchin to say such things. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Grab your tea and have a seat. Let's get into this one. We got one more story, and then we got play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and we out of here, honey. All right, players. So I know you guys remember the 6-year-old boy, Rich Neck, Virginia, that banged his teacher, that shot his teacher. Well, his mother, of course, we know, was put on was hit with some charges, and today she was sentenced to 21 months in prison. Today she was in federal court today. She's been sentenced to 21 months for her excuse me, that's the wrong one. For 21 months for her involvement in this. Let's get into the story, because I really feel like y'all need to hear exactly what happened. We learned a little bit more detail. So a federal judge has sentenced Deja Nicole Parker. Deja Nicole Taylor. She's 26 years old for being an unlawful user of the marijuana, in possession of a firearm, as well as for lying on a federal background check form when she bought her weapon 7 months before the January 6th shooting. In addition to that prison time, Taylor gets on a state felony child neglect charge, for which she will be sentenced in December. Court documents say that Taylor's son, then 6, climbed atop his mother's dresser and took her weapon out of her purse. Then he put it in his backpack and took it to the school. About 2 p.m., he removed the weapon from his hoodie pocket and fired a single round at his teacher, Miss Abby, as she began her reading lesson. The bullet went through her left hand, and most of it ended up in her upper chest. The district court judge said this case cries out for imprisonment. There are too many opportunities, too many off ramps. This is not a one-off. Now let's get into why he is saying that. So this weapon that was used in this little boy used in the shooting at the school, this is the second time that weapon was used within 10 days of each other. According to reports, Taylor was pulled over in Williamsburg in 2021 with her son and 2 others in the car with a bag full of marijuana and other drugs next to the boy. He was 4 at the time. And then it also includes an incident on December 27th of 2022, only 10 days before the incident at Rich Neck School, that only came to light in the documents filed. In that case, Deja Taylor used the same weapon, to shoot at her boyfriend, the boy's father, when she discovered that he was with another woman and had been driving around in a U-Haul van that Taylor had rented. Taylor didn't hit either of them, but the boyfriend, Malik Ellison, wrote in a text message to Taylor that she could have killed him. He said in the text message, "You almost shot me, Deja. The bullet is above my head." Taylor said, "You kept moving the van. I was aiming at that hoe." Also, in Wednesday's hearing, the teacher took to the podium and spoke about the impact on her student pointing a weapon directly at her. Miss Abby was able to shuttle students out of the classroom and made it to the administrative office, but the wound left her left lung collapse, causing her to lose consciousness. As we all know, she has filed I believe, $40 million lawsuit against the school district, and the judge has just allowed that lawsuit to proceed. She said in her statement that she's had 5 surgeries, and her hand is now regressing. Her mother and sister had to wash her early on because she couldn't do it. She was also not able to do simple tasks such as putting on or taking off her clothes, trying on her shoes and opening her bags and cutting her food. She said that her life will be forever impacted by what happened that day. Now, as for the boy, who is now 7, he is in the custody of his great-grandfather, Calvin Taylor, who was a former military police officer and retired captain at the Virginia Department of Corrections. He testified Wednesday that the boy is thriving at a different school. He said that he was Star Student of the Week recently. He said that he hasn't always been a fan of his great-granddaughter's parenting, and the boy is doing better with encouragement to behave. So she, again, Deja Nicole Taylor, has been sentenced to 21 months. She's also awaiting sentencing on a child neglect charge that she will be sentenced on in December. She will be serving that time, the 21 months in federal prison. All right, players, I really want to know what y'all think about that. Put your thoughts in the comments with the backstory. It kind of, I mean, it kind of makes me feel a little better because a lot of people, in the beginning of this, we're talking about she wouldn't be prosecuted if she wasn't Black, you know what I'm saying? But there's a history there that we do have to acknowledge. I mean, you can't be leaving loaded weapons around your children. And these other situations of her using that weapon with a boyfriend, she obviously got some anger issues. All right, players, y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. Put your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about that. And we're going to get into, of course, it's time for y'all to grab your invisible damn pearls. It's time to play stupid games. Win a stupid prize. Players, it's time for another riveting episode of Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes. All right, players. So it's time for another riveting episode of Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes. And y'all know we got to do a repeat offender tonight, honey, because it is only right that we do. Our boy, forever our Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prize winner, human skid mark Giuliani. Seen this that's gonna be hitting broke ass human skid mark Giuliani. I said there is absolutely no way that I couldn't give his ass the Play Stupid Games Win Stupid Prize award, honey. So as y'all know, honey, human skid mark Giuliani has already lost the case with Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. That's the two election workers that were harassed in Georgia. Now, he's lost that defamation lawsuit, and we were just waiting on them to file the motion for damages, honey. So today we learned that Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss will be seeking $15.5 million and $43 million in damages from human skid mark Giuliani. I declare, baby. You're done. You're done, human skid mark. Ruby Freeman, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss done saw this stuff that human skid mark going through, and they said, baby, we really don't give a damn. We want that shmoney.
Here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you,
we don't care.
So former election workers, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss will seek between $15.5 million and $43 million. Excuse me, I might have said that wrong before. From human skid mark Giuliani at their defamation trial slated to begin next month in Washington, D.C. Now, again, the federal judge has already found human skid mark liable for defamatory comments against Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. This trial will begin on December 11th. In court papers filed yesterday, attorneys for Shay Moss and Freeman said that they expect that their case will last 2 to 3 days, and they held out the possibility of calling human skid mark Giuliani to the stand. According to Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss legal team, the range of $15.5 million to $43 million cited in the court papers included costs associated with Shay Moss's loss of work and her need to secure and relocate from her home. Among their other obligations, human skid mark faces a $1.4 million lawsuit for allegedly failing to pay his former attorney, Bob Costello. He also faces a lawsuit with a business associate for sexual harassment. They're seeking damages. And also in October, Hunter Biden sued human skid mark Giuliani for unspecified damages, accusing him of mishandling personal data. We also have that Smartmatic and Dominion lawsuit with human skid mark Giuliani. And he also has a lawsuit that is pending against him with some sort of book that he was supposed to have been writing or some stuff like that. He got $300,000 or some shit like that. Child, it is really damn ridiculous. This man gonna be in court till the day he pass on, till the day he go on down to the devil. All right, players. I really hope y'all enjoyed this brand new episode of The Real Tea with Double D as much as I enjoy making it. It's been a footloose and fancy-free night. Y'all, we just gonna hold on to the Lord's unchanging hands if that's what you believe in, because that's the only thing we can do at this point. This world is a shit show on wheels, honey. I got a text message saying from a friend, Chevette. She said, and I'm gonna let y'all know this, that DCPD is attacking peaceful protesters outside of the DNC. There is some protesting going on. I think they were going down to the DNC. I think these were Palestine supporters. I'm not 100% sure on that. I did see it, but that is going on. Like I said, a whole bunch of things are going on in this world, and you know, it's so depressing sometimes, and I really want you guys to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Drink plenty of water like I am in this cup here. This is not tea, honey. This is water. I need that water. All right, players, I really hope y'all have a footloose and fancy-free night. Make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms to stay up to date on the day-to-day tea. I really appreciate y'all for riding and flying with me. Please make sure you check out this podcast, and again, follow me throughout, and y'all have yourself a pleasant night. Peace.
Double D. Welcome to the Real Tea with Double D. Welcome to the Real Tea with Double D. Yeah. Grab your tea and take a seat, cause we got something to say. We bring you that news when it happens same day. All of it be accurate, cause we get it to them straight. And the Real Tea with Double D don't spread nothing fake. Wanna hear news about politics, then go on here subscribe. Like the channel 12, we bring it to them live. With